Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran, and in today's video, we'll actually be doing a Twists and Corridors run for a Feral Druid. As always, with these Twists and Corridors runs inside of Torghast, I like to make them themed builds, and we'll try to make our abilities based around a certain theme. With Feral Druid, we are all about the bleeds. Well, also big bites, but we are going to focus on as many bleeds as we can. Every ability we pick is going to be trying to make our bleed stronger in some way or another. I played a little bit of Feral and I've seen quite a few abilities, but I wonder what kind of combos we might be able to get inside of Twists and Corridors. So anyway, let's get into the run. But first, let's take a look at our build to see what we're running with, and can we make it better for bleeds going forward. Primal Wrath is good for AoE, and I think we'll stay with Primal Wrath. Feral Frenzy is technically a bleed, but I'm thinking we'll end up going Blood Talons for the big rips at some point. So let's start with Feral Frenzy, and as we get more abilities, we will alter into Blood Talons to make those rips a lot stronger in order to kind of melt our enemies down. And we are not going to do a level 8. We're not even going to do level 6. I'm thinking we do a level 5, just so we can have a little bit of difficulty in our run, but mostly to see some of the different builds that we have, because a layer 6 took forever. On a more geared character, I would feel more comfortable. And off the bat, we're starting probably with the worst Torment, where we'll just take health percentage damage as we go through this, so that's going to be interesting. And the first ability, while Moonfire, Rake are at least on 3 targets, your damage and healing is increased by 50. Well, that's going to allow us more bleeds on multiple enemies, so we'll go with the Rake setup. Rake anew, Rake anew, Rake anew. I guess if I put a Rake on literally everybody, they should just melt, right? As long as everybody has a Rake. Rake here, Inner Flames interrupted. Big ol' bite. Yeah, it looks like it does kind of sort of work. Yeah, I don't really know how this Rake setup is going to end up helping us, but if we are going to be doing AoE, that would be nice. Haste increased by 3% on Moonfire, debuffs enemies. We'll go with Haste because we can get more bleed ticks with Haste. The next power we pick up is going to be either Circlet of Weeds. With Circlet, we get a damage and healing over time effects occur 33% more quickly. For bleeds, that's huge, and that'll be the best combo for this one. Next power we can pick up is String of Fangs and Talons, where our bites will do more damage. Or Orbital Replenishment. I guess we're gonna go for the bites. It is more damage, and I guess it could have just went, if it's not bleed, I might as well use utility. I probably should have just done the heal. Yeah, probably should have, but bites is going to be a good portion of our damage. We do have bites legendary, so we'll be utilizing that for majority of our damage. And I feel like the bite thing is going to end up being really strong for bosses, no matter, even if we try to go for a big bleed setup. Next power we get is either more health or attacks have a chance to lob of acid, doing nature damage and allowing you to bypass armor. Our bleeds already do that, so I don't really know if we need it. Or you grow in size, knocking enemies back. Can I just keep knocking enemies backwards? Your size is increased by 100, and you automatically knock back all players and enemies that come within 2 yards of yourself. Can't I use this in order to knock enemies back that are casting at me with lumbering form? I'm thinking maybe try lumbering. Yeah, let's do it. I think it's an interesting opportunity we have here. We'll try it. Maybe we can use it on enemies that are casters to just kind of keep running at them and keep kind of lumbering over the enemy. Oh my god, I am much bigger. Oh, whoa, that is... We got the size now? Oh my goodness. Wait, how big is that bear form? Oh, okay. Let's see how well we do against the first door boss. Oh, I just grew? I don't really know if I am able to knock him back. It doesn't look like I'm really knocking him back. Oh wait, he does get knocked there. Does he get knocked over and over? I think there's like an internal cooldown with his knocks. Oh! Wait, he actually is getting knocked back. Weird. Picking up 2 powers at the end of the run, the Necro Lord boy is going to give me a versatility, which will make my bleeds do more damage. And from the door boss, we get a Moonfire buff, where 20th Moonfire calls down full moon. Looting Phantasma gives us shield or Barkskin duration. I'm going to take a defensive approach, just so Barkskin can last longer. If we live, our bleeds get to tick out more on the enemy, and they'll get to die. It's at least I'm going to put it together for this bleed build. Next power pickup is going to be either more health or bottle. So we're going to go with more health because survivability is going to be good towards Torghast. Especially if we're going to be end up swimming in lava like we are right now. I really don't hope it gets me. Let's up here. Maybe, there we go. Proper corner. Imagine if we lost the power to be able to jump. That would be the worst. Next powers are going to be, we got ourselves the Elixir of Life. I think we're going to pick it up. I feel like I've gotten into a couple of close calls already on this druid. These enemies are no joke, even on level 5. And, oh, Moonfire, Rake, and Rip or Rejuve are active on a single target. Their effects increase by 60 We want to stack this as much as possible. That's going to allow us with the big bleeds. And we got ourselves the first big enemy over here. Massive target to deal with. So we're just knocking him back by the looks of it. I really hope we don't knock him in straight up into lava though. So we can actually, you know, get the stuff that we need from him. Oh my god. His hitbox is massive. He actually can play the game. Wait, that's overpowered. This guy normally slaps, but he can't. Because you keep knocking him back. Okay, let's get out of lava. Let's take a look at this stuff. Oh no, Tremor Beast hard for extra primary stat or mastery for the bleed. I'm going to argue Tremor Beast hard gives us agility. Agility is the best stat for us. Agility increases our bleed damage more than mastery does. So Tremor Beast hard for this big cat man is going to be the go-to. While channeling Convoke, Spirits damage and healing is increased by 50. Enemies affected by Moonfire do less damage to you, or Shapeshifting makes your Shred do more damage. We'll go with the Energy Focusing Crystal. Being Night Fae, we get quite a bit of a big button to press. I wonder if the dot damage as a Necrolord Feral would have been much better here. Not like I'll be able to find out, because I don't think I'll be swapping to that Covenant. Mostly because it takes so long for me to set up the Covenants and get the Renown. It takes quite a bit of time. So we'll roll with it for now. First ability at the vendor we get is going to be either you have all affinity passive bonuses and their effects increased by 100. I don't think affinity would help me here, except with healing over time. I think we go with the Fangs, just because that one seems like the best choice. And because we are inside of the Soul Forges, where we will be taking constant ticking dot damage, we'll have to splurge on a Ravenous Anima Orb just to make sure the dot damage doesn't catch up with us. And I guess we'll go for another energy focusing crystal, so bosses should not be an issue at all. And we're kind of empty on Phantasma, so we'll pick up versatility with Oblarin, power Ephemera, picking up the Versa, and we'll move on to the next level. Reduce the damage of the fire that we get from the Soul Forges, and then hopefully continue smoothly towards the first mini boss of this run. But just look how the strong Convoke is now. Convoke just obliterates these mobs. And is going to obliterate bosses too, so when it comes to burst damage, we shouldn't have any issue. And the bleeds should hopefully do a lot of work. Wow, the clearing power of this spec is insane. We got a lot of powers to pick up. Versatility for extra bleed damage. We got another power pickup. Moonfire? I think we gotta go with an extra heal. And we also get, I think, extra crit for our bleeds. Yes, please. I think we gotta go for extra ticks for our bleeds, and crit also helps us maintain our bleeds far easier. Finally, we get the vendor room, and we'll make a switch here with Blood Talents, since we actually are able to start putting up some decent bleeds. So we'll pick up more lands with more crits. Crits granting us extra arcane damage on enemies, which can happen off of bleeds as well. Since none of these give us anything bleed based, we will try to roll for more bleed options. With the first one given us, we'll pick up the Morat. We killed a lot of Morats already, but the health buff is still going to be valuable for the rest of the run. And we can go for when target dies with the dots to jump to the next enemy. That's not a bad option. More dot focused. So we got ourselves the Grand Melaire, and we got ourselves, let's actually go with a Binding Ritual so we can get ourselves more crit damage and haste increase. I didn't realize they give you haste too. So with this guy, I don't know what the opener is going to look like. I guess we'll Convoke and we'll kind of see where it goes from there, yeah? Well, that was really easy. He just kept constantly getting knocked back, and we got lots of bites with that Convoke. Next power we get is when you have 3 periodic effects on a target, your damage and healing of them are increased by 50. Is this where we go for the Moonfire build? I think this is where we actually go for that Lunar Inspiration build. Can we change talents with you? Oh wait, on second thought, we don't need to. We do have Thrash. I completely forgot that Thrash exists. So we don't actually need to do that. We can just hit him with a Thrash, and that's going to be all our dots, all the necessary dots at least. But maybe we can make a Moonfire build work either way. That is a dot. It's not quite a bleed, but still works. My god, already with this, we just run by things, dot them up, and they completely melt. We have a lot of powers to get. Even more draughts of Midday Calm. It's hard to stay calm when you get the draught of Midday Calm, because it's a very exciting potential for the build. We'll pick up Silent Spirit can be okay for boss damage, I think. for more burst when we open up on the enemy, and we'll go for versatility because extra stats is never bad. Now let me do the puzzles. I'm definitely good at these. With that one we get nothing amazing. It's okay. This run has been good so far. We've gotten really good abilities. Oh, that's a skip. That gave me lots of fire damage, but that's a skip right there. That works out. So how does that damage looking so far? We just convoke on an enemy, put a bunch of bites into them. Okay, I guess that's that easy. I should have put up my dots first. We get either Entangled Roots, last longer, the first 3 melee attacks, Barks and Armbar cause Entangled Roots. That can actually be pretty good for escaping enemies. We'll do that as a defensive choice. As we bleed them up and try to escape, put up Bark, which lasts for quite a bit, and first 3 enemies will get rooted, which will slow them down and cause them to suffer the bleeds without being able to touch us. Oh my god, that bite was huge. And that wasn't even my full convoke. The buffs we've got, or rather debuffs from all those bleeds, makes convoke such a massive ability. Okay, we can either pick up reduce the range at which enemies detect us, or debuff the enemies by 40% from a pollen dust, or master for even more of them juicy bleeds. Yes, please. Can we just break 100 or 200 mastery? That would be wonderful. Next power we get is going to be either, oh, damage and healing is increased by 50%, but every time you deal damage, you are slowed. We don't gotta go anywhere. We just gotta bleed things up and run away. Power shifting into bear form would probably help those. So I think we will grab bear form and put it on our bar so we could just power shift out of things. There we go. We can pick up another Draught of Midday Calm. Yes, that's so good. And it looks like we didn't have that much Phantasma, so let's see what we get with this orb. With this, we can go for either 10 soul remnants or more crits. We are going to go with the crits. We crit quite a bit as a feral, so it's good. And that provides us, I think it's a crit buff or a health increase. We're going to go with a crit chance. We can get that close to 50% crit, I'll be happy. And we move on to the next floor to see what other powers we end up acquiring. Next power we get is going to be Convoke the Spirits. Will use an exceptional spell significantly more often. I guess we'll have to do that. I don't know what the exceptional spell is going to be. Probably the bite. So our bites already hit really hard. So the boss says we're probably going to be able to shut down indefinitely. So how hard do our dots hit at this point with this guy? Damn, they're critting. Yeah, they're critting. Wow. This is cool. I mean, our dots really are putting in effort. They're definitely putting in work. But the actual bites are always going to be stronger, I feel like, no matter what we do. But the dots are putting in work. We did make some kind of a bleed heavy build. We just got to keep increasing the value of it. Your crit damage is increased by 30%. We already have quite a bit of crits, and the bleeds critting was going to make us even stronger. So a lithium teardrop is the go-to. I know the other choices are good. The lightning is good, and then the other one I don't remember what that was, but a lithium teardrop on any class that's about crit damage and crit procs of abilities is going to be, by every measure, insanely good. All right, mini boss, let's see how well you fare if you live longer than 2 seconds. Whoa! I didn't actually mean 2 seconds. Oh, that's a little much. Gain Cento Blood, which is a AoE, not really worth for us. Did we go for more Phantasma? I think we go for more Phantasma. I really didn't think he would die in literally 2 seconds. That's a 358k crit. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. Okay, now it's time for the actual run. We're just going to put up our bleeds. Looks like it wasn't even in stealth, so I'm not even getting full value of my convoke. Kind of unfortunate. But doesn't really matter. But we could just do 177k DPS. And at least we did use an ability that puts a bleed. We got ourselves at the end. You automatically cast an ability when you shapeshift into a form or gain Moment of Clarity. I think we could stack Revitalizing. Really? So I guess we can get Berserk often. I think we're gonna get Moment of Clarity, so we can gain more energy with 130 and more procs for Omen of Clarity. So that'll be really good. So we can do more abilities and not really worry about energy, which we're not really worried already. But it's still good, I think. I think that's what will make bleeds. We're really getting triple Torment of Soulforge, aren't we? Huh. The game hasn't given us any variety besides Soul Forges. So I guess we're just gonna keep running through Soul Forges like we have been. swiping, thrashing, and ripping until everything just melts. Then we have more crit, which I'll take as well. And I guess Entangle Roots deal nature damage to enemies, which we do root enemies, so might as well. We have ourselves the Grand Mallory. You know, if I were to convoke this guy down, I don't think we'd actually be able to see the fruits of our labor, that is our bleeds. So let me sacrifice myself here once, and I'll jump in the lava, but I do want to see how big these bleeds are. Open up with the biggest bleeds we can, and we'll have him punch us once so he gets rooted. Punch us. There we go. Look at the damage they do. This is all really good. This is really good damage. I mean, you could probably just kite him the whole time if you wanted to from here on out. Which I guess we can. And eventually he'll melt. Although, again, as we said before, it feels like it's really difficult to take away the bite out of the cat. You can put the bleeds on the cat, but you can't really take the bite out of him, though. So the bleeds are doing work, but they will be kind of combined together with the powerful bites that you already do. So let's do the unceremonious sacrifice in the lava. Just go for a... Oh, it actually looks really cool down here. Oh, wait, he follows you? Oh, wait a second. Oh, no. What? Is he dying? Is he following me? Oh, okay. Alrighty. Well, that did it. Alright, let's go and actually just one-shot him. Mallory has had their fun, and we're about to ruin it with all bleeds into a massive convoke and just go for the massive 500,000 bites at a single time. And apparently that wasn't enough to take him out, too. Well, took me only a little bit. We did an insane amount of damage as a feral, 422,000 DPS. The bleeds, the feral frenzy, bites, the lens were all good. The bleeds did quite a bit of job too there as well. Like, they really did do a really good job, but in the end, it's all about the big bites, no matter how you slice it. Thank you so much for peeping this build of the bleed feral inside of Torghast. This was really fun to put together and very fun to play. I think it's very difficult to separate the bites and the bleeds from the feral. The bleeds are part of the gameplay, but the bites is a major component as well. It's like trying to separate the poisons and the bleeds apart for a different build for Assassination Rogue. They're just so intertwined. I really do think Blizzard should add more updates for Torghast, like allowing us to get more stacks of certain powers, because usually I can see like 3 or 4 stacks at most of certain common powers. I think it'd be really cool if I could maybe get that midday calm drought that increases my rake and rip damage when it's on a single target. Right now I can only stack it on Torghast at 3, and I haven't been able to get it past that, but imagine if you could stack it to a 6 or a 10. And I really think Blizzard should remove some of those restrictions for Twist and Corridor runs to allow us some really funny and hilarious builds inside of Torghast. I think that's part of the enjoyment in Torghast, is how unbalanced things are, how wacky, kooky, crazy things are in here. But hopefully that'll do something like that, maybe for patch 9.1. But thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I really do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts about this bleed kitty build. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.